nextdoormedia.com. Kate?
I'm Kate Bergman. I run Nextdoor Media. We have a network of 10 neighborhood sites in North Seattle. And one of the things that we learned this past year is you can't hire passion. We've had some editors that have left, and so we're trying to replace those people. And the resume looks good. They live in the right neighborhood. They're there, but they don't love the neighborhood. You have to love the neighborhood. You have to be willing to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning when you hear sirens. You have to be willing to get up from the dinner table and say, sorry, honey, I gotta go. And finding that person is really hard. We would like to learn how to monetize the sites better.
NowCastSA.
I'm Charlotte Ann Lucas, and I've run NowCastSA since it went up early last year. And what we've learned in the past year is that the community really values what we do and will support us financially. One of the most unique things that we do, we've done nearly 60 live interactive webcasts of significant civic events in San Antonio, everything from a chess tournament to Metro fare increase hearings to development workshops to the SA 2020 envisioning workshops. And we also helped a local high school live stream all 8 San Antonio Independent School District high school graduations. And during the high school graduations, one of the young men who sang the national anthem, his mom, who was deployed in Iraq, was able to watch him sing. We had 22 people in a little teeny town in Mexico, Aguascalientes, which wasn't even on the map, watching as some of the students graduated. So it's been incredibly meaningful to the community, and we've been asked by other high schools how they can find sponsorship and funding to support us as we do some more high school graduations next year. We've now pulled in somewhere in the neighborhood of $45,000 worth of sponsorship and underwriting by people who recognize that this is a really important way to engage the community and support democracy. For next year, I need to become much better at shameless promotion, taking the time to tell everybody the fabulous things that we're doing, and also do an actual real live, honest-to-God strategic plan.
Oakland Local, Susan Murnett and Amy Barron.
Hi, I'm Susan Murnett from Oakland Local. We're just heading into our second year, and we're a daily news and community site in Oakland, California. We're a nonprofit because our mission is to do training to bridge the digital divide, as well as to publish news with some importance to our community. We have an unpaid staff of about 15 people. We pay the writers and we pay one of the editors, but everyone else, including me, is a volunteer. And what I've learned is that, A, we have to make some money or some of us are going to burn out. And second, that the importance of a team is incredible. We have about 15 people who are just core to really supporting Oakland Local, who work for less than they could make at other outlets, who donate time, who really support us through advertising. And, you know, as we go into our second year, having that from the community is powerful, and it reflects the fact that a lot of our audience is under 35, that 25% of it are people of color, 17% identify as queer. So we really very much reflect and try to reflect diversity of Oakland, both in our team and then in what we're presenting. So the great lesson has been really try to take care of the people working with you and empower them to share the mission. And we have a fabulous unpaid co-founder right here who's done that in spades. So that's the lesson, you know, really share and empower other people. What we need to learn are two things. We are about to help form a board for our fiscal sponsor. So board development and taking that on is something I'm really thinking about and need to learn about really quickly. If anybody wants to help, please. And we're actually going to have a couple of open national board positions. And then the other thing is revenue, especially closing sales. We are selling ads. We'll probably sell about $22,000 worth of paid advertising this year, but we need to sell about 60. So understanding how we can more efficiently ratchet it up is really going to be important to our making the kind of numbers that we need to have.
Open file. Yeah, the CA is for Canada, not California, sorry. This is some of our local wildlife in one of our biggest cities. I'm Kathy Vey. This is my Toronto editor, Chantal Braganza. And when I was here this time last year, I was the Toronto editor. I'm the editor-in-chief. We now have 7 editors in 7 cities across Canada, and each of those editors has a news curator whose job is to aggregate local news and just bring stuff in and engage the audience. So we've grown incredibly over the past year. What I've learned is you do have to take a break. You can't do it all. Brandy, I think your name was. It really goes to that. You do have to know when to step back and let your people do it for you. What's ahead for the next year? We've been working on editorial partnerships with any and all comers, and we need to figure out whether this is a good route to go down or whether it's just banging your head against a brick wall. I left that world to come to digital, and it seems like a lot of the attitudes haven't changed.
Planet Princeton, another East Coaster.
Hi, my name is Crystal Knapp. I'm from Princeton, New Jersey. I just quit my job at a local daily about 3 weeks ago. Feels really scary and exciting at the same time. And my site is actually still in beta, and it was supposed to launch in October, but I covered the heck out of Hurricane Irene and had maybe almost 500,000 page views on Facebook the week of the hurricane. What I learned from that and what I've learned the last few months is the importance of focusing on, in terms of content. I'm a small organization right now, and I can't be all things to all people. I can't compete with the local weekly that has half a dozen staffers right now. So I just focus on what I do best, and then focusing on where there's a gap. I do a lot of reporting on traffic and transit issues right now. I never imagined I'd do that, but it was clear from Hurricane Irene that there was a big need and interest in that. And like everyone else, I'm trying to figure out how to make this sustainable. If I decide to partner, how to choose the right partners to help do that as well. And then I'd really love the secret to having a personal life and doing all this. So if anyone knows that, come see me. Thanks.
Q City Metro. Glenn.
Hi, I'm Glenn Berkins. I launched Q City Metro. It'll be 3 years in December in Charlotte, North Carolina, to cover the African American community. That's what the Q stands for, the Queen City. Shout out to my neighbors over in Davidson. I guess the biggest thing I learned over the past year is that you really do have to have people beyond your organization who are helping you, opening doors for you, and I found out that people are more than willing to do that if you approach them and ask. I guess the thing that I have to focus on in the new year or the coming year, and many of you have expressed it in different ways, but I guess I would just say focus. I have to get up every morning and figure out what's the most important thing I can do that day. And it's probably not writing a police story or something like that, but figuring out how to grow readership and how to grow revenue.
Lori.
Hi, Lisa.
I'm Lori Cervello. I'm the publisher of the Rapidian out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. The Rapidian's actually part of the Community Media Center, which is actually a 30-year-old organization in Grand Rapids, and this is just our latest project. It is a nonprofit based, it's all original content, and it is citizen reporter. We're basically the gracious hosts, and we encourage and facilitate. And I think what we've learned, and why I said, oh, this is an old picture, is that we have to remain flexible when we're looking both at what our visitors are looking for and the way they want to interface, that fine sort of sweet spot of human interaction with the site, but mostly when we're dealing with our citizen reporters, what are they looking for out of the experience, and meeting them where they are, not where we think they should be. And that requires that we be creative and flexible, welcoming, and that we listen a lot more than we talk. So I think we've gotten a lot of lessons from that this year. I think what we're looking for here, it's very common. Sustainability is a big theme. I especially want to connect with other nonprofits because there are unique issues in the sustainability puzzle for those of us that are not-for-profit, I think. And I also am really interested in crafting more succinctly our mobile strategy because we're not as strong as we need to be in that arena. So thank you.
Red Bank Green, John.
Hi, Red Bank Green is from Red Bank, New Jersey, covering the northeast corner of the Jersey Shore. We've been around for 5 years. The strongest lesson I think I've learned in the past year is that having a multi-billion-dollar giant media company throw 5 sites to cover the territory that we cover alone is a survivable crisis, not just because they're kind of bumbling and ill-focused, but because what we're doing is resonating and people are telling us that. They appreciate the authentically local approach that we bring. In the next year, I would like to, as many of you have spoken about, solidify our revenue. In particular, I would like to figure out how to retain customers, and I'd also like to learn a little bit about going more mobile.
Riverhead Local.
My name is Denise Civiletti, and with my husband, Peter Blazel, we run riverheadlocal.com. We started in January, really officially March 2010, and I've learned everything since then. I've learned that we can do this, and that there was a need and a desire for what we do, and that we can make money at it and survive. And I've learned that there are other people doing this. Believe it or not, I had no idea that there was a whole network of people out there. And I'm very excited about that. What I would like to learn here and in the next year going forward is how to sort of fine-tune our business model so that maybe at some point I could take a day off. And that we would be able to sustain income salaries for a couple of other people so that we could operate like a normal business. Because right now we just operate like a couple of crazy people, which probably everyone else in this room.
RVA News.
Hi, I'm Ross from RVA News. We're an online publication covering the Richmond area. 2 things I've learned this year are how to create some interesting ad opportunities that hopefully aren't too super annoying to users, that have allowed us to make more money. And we've been actually writing longer stuff, pushing what I guess we thought was the limit of online readability length, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 words, and it's been really well received with our readers. So that's cool. And I think I would like to learn, we're actually pretty sustainable. We have me, a writer, and an ad salesperson, and we all make money and live and stuff. But I think I'm looking into how to make more money to expand, is kind of what I'm looking for.
I got to ask you, where did this idea of 1,000 words as the limit of readability come from?
I have no idea. I guess it's just in maybe it's not elsewhere, but in Richmond, it's kind of, if you're in online media, it's like 1,000 words. No one reads more than 1,000 words. And it was difficult to convince our ad salesperson that, people will read this, there will be page views on these longer articles.
I'm pretty sure that's a belief that has absolutely no empirical validity whatsoever. It never did.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm pretty sure. Sacramento Press.
Hi, I'm Ben from the Sacramento Press, and my business partner Jeff will be here, but he's just arrived. I guess, one thing I've learned since then is last Block by Block I was about to get married. Now I've been married almost a year. And it turns out even if your spouse isn't wealthy, it's a great support system to have somebody in your home who believes in what you're doing and believes in you. But I would say our biggest change of mentality was that we've been around for almost 3 years, and I think we got comfortable in a place where we felt everybody knew us and we knew everybody and we knew the advertisers we were working with, and it turns out there's a much wider world. If you go outside that shell, you realize how comparably small you are compared to everybody else in the media market. So now we're really excited. You got to keep that startup mentality and keep pushing and expanding what you think you can do, and keep pushing and expanding who you think you can sell. And I guess what I'm trying to learn here, we realized in a lot of ways that our parent company, the one that Jeff and I started, it's called Macer Media, and the Sacramento Press is the first thing we've done with Macer Media. We've done a couple other things too, like a local online ad network for Sacramento called Sloan, and a digital media agency for our best clients called Agency M. But now I think we want to turn outwards, and we want to see what we can do with technology to help bring in more revenue for everybody in the room. And I'd like to kind of know what people's challenges are and maybe collaborate on ways to fix those in kind of a larger sense and maybe a global sense.